James Nestor, Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor delves into our often overlooked and underappreciated breathing habits, illuminating the profound impact they have on our overall health and well-being. This book summary explores the advantages of nasal breathing over mouth breathing, the impact of our modern lifestyles on our facial structure and ability to breathe, and various techniques and practices to improve our breathing habits. Nestor's meticulous investigation into the science behind breathing and its connections to ancient wisdom will provide readers with a deeper understanding of the role of breath in maintaining optimal health and vitality.
Breathe right, live better. Our method of breathing can significantly impact our health and well-being. Breathing through the nose offers numerous benefits, such as filtering, warming, and moistening the air we breathe, and releasing chemicals that regulate blood pressure and heart rate. In contrast, mouth breathing deprives us of these advantages, potentially leading to health issues and even altering the physical structure of our faces. Choosing to breathe correctly through our noses can ultimately improve our overall quality of life. In an experiment to understand the effects of mouth breathing, author James Nestor had a doctor insert silicone plugs into his nostrils, forcing him to breathe through his mouth. The results were dreadful. His blood pressure skyrocketed, his pulse quickened, his body temperature dropped, and he felt miserable. Upon removing the plugs after 10 days, Nestor's nasal cavity was in chaos, housing bacterial infections and requiring extensive cleaning. This misery wasn't just limited to James Nestor. Other research reveals shocking consequences of mouth breathing. One study conducted in the 1970s and 1980s by orthodontist and researcher Egil P. Harvold involved sealing the nostrils of rhesus monkeys. As the monkeys were forced to mouth breathe, their dental arches narrowed, their teeth grew crooked, and their overall facial structure distorted. However, when the nostril plugs were removed after up to 2 years, their appearances returned to normal within 6 months, all because they could breathe properly again. It's estimated that about half of us breathe primarily through our mouths due to various reasons, such as medical conditions, pollution, and stress. Choosing to consciously breathe through our noses can have profound benefits on our health and well-being. The nose not only aids in air intake but also filters, warms, and moistens the air, releasing helpful chemicals in the process. By focusing on proper breathing techniques, we can lead healthier, more fulfilling lives. Evolving heads, breathing woes. Our breathing struggles can be traced back to our ancestors, long before the evolution of Homo sapiens. Tenderizing and cooking food allowed for the consumption of more calories and a subsequent increase in brain size. However, larger brains led to smaller sinuses and airways, and a lowered larynx increased our susceptibility to choking. Additionally, advances in food processing in the 18th century made our diet softer, leading to smaller mouths and more orthodontic and breathing issues. Still, some indigenous communities found their way around these issues through their diverse eating habits and understanding the importance of nasal breathing. The roots of our problematic breathing can be traced back 1.7 million years ago, when ancient ancestors like Homo habilis started to process food before eating. Tenderizing and cooking allowed them to consume more calories, leading to larger brains. Around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens evolved with a lower larynx that enabled speech. Unfortunately, these evolutionary advancements came with a price. Bigger brains led to smaller sinuses and more prominent noses, while a lower larynx increased the risk of choking. Then, a shift in dietary habits occurred around the 18th century, as Western societies saw the advent of softer foods. The change caused smaller mouths due to less chewing, resulting in a surge of orthodontic and breathing issues. However, various indigenous communities across North and South America managed to avoid these common breathing problems. After visiting over 50 diverse communities in the 1830s, American researcher George Catlin observed that they shared similarities, such as tall physiques, perfectly straight teeth, and minimal chronic health issues. He also noted their universal understanding of the importance of nasal breathing. Inspired by his findings, Catlin championed the benefits of nasal breathing in his book, Breath of Life, urging readers to shut your mouth. Despite Catlin's discovery and advocacy, his vital message about the power of nasal breathing remained largely unheeded in modern society. The power of exhaling. In 1958, choir director Karl Stoff discovered the importance of proper exhalation for people with emphysema, a chronic lung disease. He noted that patients were not breathing out sufficiently, and taught them to exercise their diaphragm muscle properly, which greatly improved their lung capacity. His unconventional techniques debunked the belief that lung capacity only decreased with age, showcasing how even simple activities could boost lung function. When choir director Karl Stoff was asked to observe a group of emphysema patients at the East Orange Veterans Affairs Hospital in 1958, he uncovered the crux of their health issue. Although not medically trained, Stoff realized that patients were struggling to exhale fully, instead of struggling to inhale. He subsequently emphasized the importance of proper exhalation alongside inhalation in the breathing process. Addressing this issue, Stoff harnessed the potential of the diaphragm, the muscle underpinning the lungs. He trained his patients to exercise their diaphragms effectively, guiding them to breathe slowly while lying flat as he massaged and tapped various areas of their chest, neck, and throat to increase exhalation. This unconventional yet simple technique significantly boosted patients' lung capacity by reactivating their diaphragm. Although Stoff's methods did not completely cure emphysema, they enabled patients to regain access to the healthier portions of their lungs. As a result, patients who could hardly walk or talk were now able to resume these activities, with one even going on to work as a ship's captain. His results surprised the medical community, which held the assumption that lung capacity could not be improved and would only diminish as people aged. Stoff's work highlighted that enhancing lung capacity is, in fact, achievable through simple means, such as walking or cycling, potentially increasing lung volume by 15%. This breakthrough discovery emphasized the critical role of exhalation and its impact on overall lung function, thus changing the way medical professionals understand lung diseases and breathing techniques. Breathing slowly, living better. The practice of slow, shallow breathing across various cultural traditions not only harmonizes with our natural biochemical processes but also effectively enhances our physical well-being. This form of controlled breathing is present in spiritual and meditative practices worldwide, where each breath cycle usually takes between 5.5 and 6 seconds. Slow, gentle breathing promotes increased blood flow to the brain and improved efficiency throughout the body. The human body's biochemistry depends on a delicate balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules, which are exchanged between the lungs and red blood cells. Carbon dioxide, often misconstrued solely as waste, is crucial for oxygen transportation and blood vessel dilation. Rapid, heavy breathing expels too much carbon dioxide, impairing blood flow, while breathing slowly maintains and even improves overall energy and bodily performance. Training your breath to follow a 5.5-second inhale and exhale pattern for even a few minutes a day offers immense benefits, with or without combining it with mindfulness practices. Reshaping mouths, improving breathing. Our modern lifestyles, characterized by less chewing and processed foods, have led to smaller mouths, crooked teeth, and obstructed airways, making breathing conditions more common today. Thankfully, it's possible to reverse these problems by improving oral posture, employing orthodontic innovations, and increasing the use of back molars to create stem cells that facilitate new bone growth around the mouth and face, clearing airways and even contributing to a more youthful appearance. It's no secret that today's lifestyles have taken a toll on our breathing. Over the past 300 years, the rise of processed foods and less chewing has resulted in smaller mouth sizes, crooked teeth, and obstructed airways. These factors have become key contributors to widespread breathing issues such as asthma and snoring. The silver lining in this story is that many of these problems can be reversed by changing our habits and using innovative orthodontic strategies. Traditional orthodontics, which often involve removing teeth and fitting braces, aren't always helpful. In the past, this approach may have unwittingly exacerbated the problem by causing further shrinkage of the mouth, leading to new issues like sleep apnea. However, orthodontists like John Mew have since shed light on the potential harm caused by older methods, and their ideas are now gaining traction. One straightforward approach to resolving mouth-related breathing problems is maintaining good oral posture. To do this, ensure your lips are together, with teeth slightly touching, and that your tongue rests on the roof of your mouth. Maintaining proper posture while sitting or standing also helps open up your airways. Moreover, specialized devices can assist in the process. The author experimented with Theodore Belfer's Homeoblock, a gadget designed to be placed inside the mouth, tricking it into thinking it's chewing more than it actually is. Within a few weeks, the author experienced widened airways, aligned jaws, and even gained almost 2 cubic centimeters of facial bone. The takeaway message here is that adults can still grow bone by chewing more. Engaging the back molars creates stem cells that promote new bone growth throughout the mouth and face. As a result, this not only helps clear our airways but also bestows a more youthful appearance. Unlock superhuman powers with breathing. Astounding feats have been achieved through mastery of advanced breathing techniques. Swami Rama, an Indian yogi, demonstrated the power of breathing by manipulating his heart rate and body temperature. Tummo, a Tibetan Buddhist method, allows practitioners to endure freezing temperatures by igniting their inner fire. Dutchman Wim Hof also harnessed the power of heavy breathing to endure extreme cold and even fight off an E. coli infection. Although controversial and potentially dangerous, these intense techniques showcased the extraordinary potential of breath control. The power of breathing extends beyond mere survival, it can lead to extraordinary abilities. Northern India's Swami Rama astonished doctors in 1970 by manipulating his heart rate and body temperature using focused breathing techniques. However, this was not an isolated case. Yogis have displayed such control over their bodies for centuries, illustrating the incredible potential of harnessing breath. One such remarkable technique is Tummo, developed by Tibetan Buddhists 1,000 years ago. Tummo, meaning inner fire, enables its practitioners to survive the freezing Himalayan heights wearing only thin clothing. They can even melt the snow surrounding them with the heat emanating from their bodies. The power to withstand extreme cold is not exclusive to Tibetan Buddhists. Wim Hof, a Dutch former mail carrier, gained fame in the 2000s for running a half-marathon in the Arctic Circle wearing no shoes or shirt. In a scientific experiment, he was even able to fight off an E. coli infection using his unique breathing technique. Both Tummo practitioners and Hof achieved these extraordinary feats through an intense and potentially grueling system of heavy breathing. This aggressive push of air forces the body into a state of stress, allowing practitioners to hack the autonomic nervous system, a system that usually governs body functions outside of conscious control. Hof also incorporated repeated exposure to extreme cold into his simplified method tailored for Western audiences. Although these techniques are controversial and should be approached with caution, they demonstrate the astounding potential of breathing mastery over our bodies. Harnessing the power of our breath can unlock superhuman abilities that we never imagined possible. Carbon dioxide, power of breathing. Manipulating carbon dioxide levels in our bodies through various breathing techniques can induce transcendent visions and alter our consciousness. Both heavy breathing practices, such as holotropic breathwork, and carbon dioxide therapy can lead to psychological breakthroughs and states of profound calmness, benefiting those struggling with anxiety, epilepsy, or schizophrenia. In 1956, psychology student Stanislav Grof experimented with LSD, which induced vibrant, transcendent visions. With the substance later banned, Grof developed a legal alternative called holotropic breathwork. Through several hours of heavy breathing, he found that the practice could cause intense hallucinations. This occurs due to a decrease in carbon dioxide levels and blood flow to the brain, which impacts our sense of self and perception of time. While holotropic breathwork remains a controversial and understudied treatment, it has led some to therapeutic breakthroughs. Similarly, neurologist Justin Feinstein explores the effects of carbon dioxide therapy, an area of research surprisingly neglected for the past century. High doses of carbon dioxide initially provoke panic attacks as our brain's chemoreceptors detect that something is wrong. However, once the initial panic subsides, this treatment can result in a state of profound calmness. The state achieved through carbon dioxide therapy is comparable to the one reached via gentle, slow breathing techniques. However, for individuals with anxiety, epilepsy, or schizophrenia, it can be challenging to perform these exercises. Thus, Feinstein's treatment offers them a shortcut to attaining a similar state, granted they can endure the panic attacks that may occur. Ancient wisdom on breathing. The significance of proper breathing and its effects on overall health has been recognized in ancient cultures, using concepts like prana or chi to describe life energy. Traditional practices like yoga and acupuncture help maintain this vital force, but simply breathing in for 5.5 seconds and out for 5.5 seconds can lead to positive effects as well. The knowledge of breathing's power may be in its early stages within the West, however, ancient wisdom from across the globe reveals its mainstream acceptance and extensive understanding. Concepts like prana in India and chi in China, which emerged around 3,000 years ago, signify a universal life force or energy present in everything but predominantly concentrated in living organisms. Maintaining good health is closely connected to preserving this vital energy. Traditional practices such as acupuncture and yoga emerged as methods to maintain a steady flow of this life force. Simple yet powerful techniques involve ensuring proper breathing, believed to draw in prana or chi. In fact, the original essence of yoga was deeply rooted in stillness and focused breathing, according to the Yoga Sutras from 500 BCE. Rather than emphasizing movement, ancient yoga practitioners sought to build up prana through controlled breathing. Rapid, heavy breathing can result in a sudden buildup of prana, occasionally triggering extreme responses such as hallucinations. However, gradually increasing one's prana levels over an extended time contributes to optimal benefits. This ancient wisdom highlights the importance of breath and life force that modern science is still uncovering. Interestingly, one doesn't need to engage in extreme practices or deeply believe in prana to experience the power of proper breathing. Simply sticking to a pattern of breathing in for 5.5 seconds and out for 5.5 seconds can lead to positive changes in both mental and physical health, serving as an effective tool for well-being in everyday life.
In conclusion, James Nestor's breath sheds light on the incredible power of breathing and its potential to transform our health and well-being. Throughout the summary, we learned the importance of nasal breathing, eye-opening insights into the development of our facial structure and airways, and surprising benefits of slow, shallow breathing. Furthermore, we explored various techniques and practices from ancient traditions and modern research that offer a wealth of knowledge and methods for harnessing the true potential of our breath. As we learn to breathe better in our daily lives, we can unlock numerous health advantages and enhance our overall well-being.